It's so 90s, it's ridiculous.
They had like a video for it and everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
I think it premiered after
Sponsored
a
by
Blossom episode.
Doc Martens.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Welcome to Couch Pilots, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, a.k.a. the Bottle Snap Kid, and I'm here sitting across from a good friend of mine, Philip Rest Assured. Good afternoon, Philip.
Good afternoon. We are taking a little afternoon flight here. I'm super excited, and we are lucky enough to have another frequent flyer catcher.
Right out of the gate, you're ready to go.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm brimming.
Every time we do a show, I tell you, you sound like you're about ready to fall asleep. So I feel like I gotta get this party started, right?
You know, we have several podcasts that we do, and I feel
you
like
hate them all,
and I hate every last one of them. No, the theme music really gets me into a soothing spirit.
Yeah.
And if I come into this thing jarring, it's going to be such a juxtaposition of what our intro music is. I think it's really going to throw people off. So I try to maintain a balance.
Do you think I should try to find like the Wings theme like in dubstep?
I do. If you really want me to kick it up a notch, I will step in time like Dick Van Dyke once did and keep in rhythm with what is appropriate for our intro.
Be a part of the Rhythm Nation? Anyway, as everyone knows, if you don't mind,
please.
We have a frequent flyer program here at Couch Pilots, and if you listen to the show, you send in fan feedback, share links on Facebook, Twitter, all that rigmarole, do posts, then you earn frequent flyer miles.
They add up quick, folks.
You can get assortment of things, such as autographed aviator glasses.
Yep. Surprise prizes. But one of the main sought after people want to cash these points in for these right off the back is to be able to take a flight with us. Right.
And we have with us one of those gentlemen, Dustin. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
So frequent flyer points.
Yeah.
You had a stack of them.
Well, I'd been stashing them back since episode 1. We've been doing these. Well, you guys have been doing these flights for a while, so I've just been, I was saving up for, a good first class destination. Where are we going today?
Oh boy, we're flying through the open airs.
We don't like to tell the guest on the plane where we're going until we take off.
That's a surprise prize.
Well, I know past episodes you just end up right back home. I was kind of hoping this one we're going to be somewhere.
We follow those orange cones wherever Tarmac John leads us.
Yeah, he gave me some of his nachos. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's always down to share.
Yeah.
He's down to clown. He
down with a clown?
He had a T-shirt on today. It said DSJ and it had the Led Zeppelin Angel logo on it. So he's got like his own shirts now.
Sponsored by Designer Shoe Warehouse.
Right.
Right.
It's amazing, that guy.
He's a good dude.
Hashtag DSJ.
He was kind of bummed out that he told me the other day that his girlfriend broke up with him.
Oh, I see. Now, when him and I talk, it's usually we talk about tattoos. We talk about nachos. We talk about Led Zeppelin cover bands that he goes to see. I never talk to him about his love life.
Oh, well, that's the first thing. If my wife has taught me anything...
My wife.
If she's never taught me anything, it's to ask as many questions of your
does.
friends
She
as possible.
does ask you that a lot.
And that's how I found out you were straight.
Yeah.
And she's forced me to ask questions about Dustin as well.
What?
And how did you find out Dustin was straight?
Oh, he knows I'm straight. I make no bones about that one.
Poontang to the left of him and poontang to the right of him.
You have Poontang in tow?
Well, no. Now I just keep it to the right.
Front and center?
He's the publisher and editor of Barely Legal magazine.
Oh, is he really? I didn't. Wow.
That's news to me.
Oh, come
She's
on.
at least
11?
Yeah.
Shut
He almost said 11.
11 years younger than me. That's what you guys
Okay.
are trying to say. No,
Okay.
she's not that young.
Wink, wink. I gotcha. 11 minus 20. No. So where was I? Oh, he's talking about his girlfriend. So he's been working all those hours because he's working here.
Yeah.
He is now a roadie for that cover band that he saw
The
in
Led
Vegas.
Zeppelin cover band?
Yeah. And he was working at the McDonald's wiping off trays and stuff, too. So he's got tons of jobs because he's all about the money.
Yeah, I think one of the last episodes we talked about, he makes like 6 digits.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's rolling in it.
Yeah, and so, you know, she said, it's either the money or me. And he was like, the money.
Yeah.
I thought he was also, I could be wrong, he may not be working there anymore. I thought I saw him outside of Little Caesars once twirling a sign.
He's a
That's actually just a belt buckle that he has that sometimes gets caught in the wind.
Oh,
I know
okay.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've been confused too.
I didn't know if he was just working for free pizza.
like the
or-
ZZ Top guitars.
Yeah.
Just-
That's
right.
right. We were on the tarmac one time, and I saw that, and I was like, "Is there a Little Caesars right here on the runway?" And it wasn't. It was just his belt buckle caught in the
Hot
wind.
and ready.
That's what it says. His buckle says "hot and ready."
So, but, you know, he said he was kind of bummed out about it. But, you know, like I said, money talks.
And-
Bullshit walks.
Straight up.
And he can get all the love that he wants.
For that money?
The DS Poontang to the right.
Well,
That's right.
They're so cuddly and lovable.
He's a good dude. What's the name of that cover band that he goes to see?
Get the lead out. Let the lead out.
That's the one. Let the Lead Out.
Yeah, he flew all the way over to Vegas, and then the next week they were in Peoria.
They were here in Peoria.
I'm like, come on, John.
Retarded. Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, let's get this party started right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
I think we've made it pretty clear that we are in an airplane and we're going to go into the sky and talk about pilot television shows. But right now we're getting ready. We're pumping the prime. We're boarding. We're the whole adventure we're going to have to be on. We're checking all. We're going down the checklist. We're making sure everything's right and ready.
I'm just back here enjoying my beer.
Please do. You've earned it.
It's cool because we had a special seat made. It's kind of like the suicide seat in a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's like behind us.
I'm sitting on that
sideways.
hump in the middle between you guys.
If I need to get my lip balm, I'm going to need you to stand up so I can get into the middle console. That's right.
I don't have a seatbelt or anything.
You hold on to us.
All right.
So Blake and I, we take this trip every week with you folks, and we both have full-time jobs. Both Blake and I, we're providers. You know, we make it a money, we pay it the bills. This eats up to 40 or 50 hours a week, but we do it because we have to.
Not because we want to.
No.
I mean, when we signed on, we got our aviation licenses. They slid it over to us. And they're like,
Under the glass. They
Yeah.
slid under the glass.
and they're like, your life will never be the same.
And you know what? They were right. It has it.
Yeah.
TV pilots, failed TV pilots, that's our passion. We have to go to work every week. That's something we have to do. We have to make that money. But our passion is failed TV pilots. That's why we get out of bed in the morning. We search them out. We watch them. We report our findings to you, our frequent flyers, such as Dustin here. No one asked to do this. We do it because we love it and because we love you. Wouldn't you say so?
That definitely. I mean, you can see by the listenership, we love doing the show for the 30 people that listen.
I think you're being a little generous. So
That just means I get more points.
that's right. There's
That's
It's a socialist society we've created here at Couch Pilots. There's a finite number of points. The fewer people involved, they get more points.
Right.
We start getting more and more listeners. Those points got to be spread out over everybody.
You know, and for me, you know, once we get up in the air, once we crack open these pilots, you know, the look on the horizon is so beautiful. It's amazing.
It makes it all worth
and
it.
then it's part of me. It's part of me. It's part me wanting just to see that and have a reason to get up here. I can't just go fly for no reason.
Purple Mountains Majesty.
That's right.
Yeah, we're not pulling a John Denver here. We're dodging mountains.
Ample waves.
Of grain and barley in my glass.
Jeez.
We're not going to plug your show till the end. All right.
I didn't say anything about a plug. I'm just enjoying this beverage.
But you know, in Dustin, you know, as a frequent flyer, cashing in, being able to take this trip, you are allowed to have alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
Me and Jason cannot do that under FCF,
Correct.
FCFSS,
Regulations.
DCFS.
DCSFU
Yeah.
regulations. We can't drink on the plane.
NAACP.
We drank. I didn't, but Jason drinks heavily before in the
Well, that's
the
fine.
pilots.
Once you're behind, it's just once you're behind the controls.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can drink as much as you. Fuck it.
Honestly, I mean, I can see your beer. We shouldn't even be looking at it for our regulations.
So I need to chug this then.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
Right. It makes the flight even better.
All right, I'm gonna disappear for a bit.
Sorry.
So today, what we're watching is it's from the dark and bizarre mind of Tim Burton. It's his version, 1982, Hansel and Gretel.
A little
Weird.
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel, and I don't really remember. I didn't remember what it all involved. I know it was a brother and sister, the original story.
Oh, you don't even remember the fairy tale?
Yeah,
The
not
little
really.
German children, correct?
It would have
With
to be
names
originally.
like that?
Yeah, I was gonna say it. Has to be.
Not what's in this show.
I think it's played by a bunch of Chinamen, and but they're still named Hansel and Gretel. Oddly enough,
Right.
That's Tim Burton for you.
Yeah.
Hansel Ying.
Hansel's son.
Yeah.
Hansel.
Every show we take a look at when these shows come out, and we say how old were we compared to the time. 1982. Myself, I was 1 year old.
Correct.
Okay.
And so were you, Dustin.
So was I. We are the same age.
I think you're about a week or two older than me.
Correct.
So we're about. So
Yes.
for both of us, it was a year. We were a year old.
I did not watch this.
You
It
don't-
would have been. I would not be the man I am today had I watched this when it came
I
out.
think it would have sharply shaped your trajectory. Blake,
Well, the listeners know that there's a simple way to find mine out.
right?
You take whatever you say, and then I add 6 years to it,
Yeah.
which would have made me 7 years old.
And that's it. That's as simple as that.
Right, and if I say at my age first, you then subtract 6.
Right. Now that's just good math.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people just listening to this show for the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe Tim Burton fans or whatever.
Or Tim Burton himself.
Yeah, Tim Burton's probably listening right now, and if so, we
He's
are
got
available.
nothing better to do.
We are available for Edward Scissorhand 2.
Yeah, just ruin something else from my childhood. Why not?
He's getting ready to ruin Beetlejuice for you. I think there's a sequel coming out.
He is attached to that.
I think
I mean,
it's
he'd have to be, wouldn't
him,
he?
Keaton, and Winona Ryder. I think are that trifecta.
Winona Ryder.
That gives me a little hope, I guess. Better than that. What should have been Abortion, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That was really bad.
Wow, abortions. We don't. Dustin.
We usually don't get into abortions till the second
Oh, I'm
segment
sorry.
of the show.
I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah,
That's okay.
that's the beer talking.
That's usually during the turbulence section.
Yeah. We lose a lot of babies during the turbulence section of the play. Now, usually, Blake, I send this over to you, but I want to ask Dustin this time.
Okay.
Dustin, how do we, being a frequent flyer, how do we choose each show that we listen to? There's 3 requirements.
Okay, well, first, it has to be a pilot that was not picked up, and it has to be easily available for free, and it has to be horrible, usually.
Close.
Yeah.
I think the second one included 2 of them.
Yeah, you put 2 into one.
Okay.
It has to be available to be seen,
Yeah.
and it's got to be free.
Hey, if you want, I mean, he did really good. You want me to go ahead and give him some extra frequent flyer points?
No, he burnt through those already. He's in the hole right now for that abortion snap
Oh.
earlier. So you're riding 0, but that's okay. We're not going to just kick you out.
Okay.
At least
I
without
appreciate it
parachute.
because I did not bring a parachute. Yeah, that's
Well, we haven't left the ground yet.
Oh,
Well,
that's right. We haven't.
we are boarding.
It's still that's like a
It's like-
5-foot
yeah.
drop. Tarmac John ain't gonna catch
You're
me.
going to want a parachute even at 5 feet, and he will not catch you. You'll get a cone up the pooper. I'm sorry. What's that?
No, I was like Tarmac John always tarmacking away.
Hashtag leave it on the tarmac.
Tarmac up the tar ass, right? Am I right, guys? Where can you find this show? People probably want to know. They say, hey, you know what? You're talking all this stuff about Tim Burton and Hansel and Gretel. Where can I find it? Subscribe to Couch Pilots on your favorite podcast app and check out our show notes for our classically blue links. That'll get you there. Or go to YouTube and search Tim Burton, Hansel and Gretel, and it'll pop right up. I think there's like 3 or 4 different versions of it out there. I watched the
You only need
longest
to
one I
watch
could.
one. You just need to watch one.
I would suggest watching all of them back to back at night during a thunderstorm.
Right, and again, we always put whatever show we're going to review next. We put that on the show notes, so you're always going to have a heads up.
You're gonna
So
have
you a
6
few
days,
6 days.
to watch what we're gonna watch next, so you can speak the same language as us, so you know what we're talking about. Because right now we're gonna be saying crazy off the wall shit, and if you haven't seen it, you have no idea what we're talking about.
Right.
Is it gonna be entertaining? Oh, you betcha.
Right, and if you do use LSD,
Right.
if you do marijuana,
Yes.
we don't use that because we fly the friendly skies.
That's why we don't do marijuana.
right. But if you do any of those, go ahead and do that right before you start watching the show.
It'll enhance your experience.
It'll enhance the experience. And actually, if you want to do it before you listen to our show, it'll probably enhance the experience.
Or like if you want to do marijuana, just like in general, before you get up, when you get up in the morning, wake and bake, or maybe before church on a Sunday morning.
Oh, like on 4:15.
Or yeah, just like right around 4:15, get something ready to go and say I've got 5 minutes. Yeah, take care of it. Do that marijuana, y'all.
I think we can go there, but
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
hold your beer. I was going to tip over.
Oh shit! I forgot to take my Dramamine too.
Oh, see you on the other side, John.
He's so cute down there, just waving the hell out of those little things.
It's funny because the higher in the air we get, the smaller he gets.
That's weird.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's something I think I slept through that class in pilot school, why that happens.
Yeah. I think it's some kind of magical power that DS people have.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree with that. Let it be known that I agree that people with Down syndrome have magical powers. And, this is fine because I think the three of us sitting here, if Heather or someone else from the network was here and they were young enough to where they were still going to have children, they would probably be cursed with having a Down syndrome child. We're beyond the age where we're probably going to have any more kids.
Yeah, my kid just turned 14.
And children don't get late onset.
No, that
Down
usually
syndrome.
Diabetes maybe, but not Down syndrome.
How old was your daughter in 1982?
She was
11.
negative 20.
All right.
Negative 20.
Nice.
See, I'm quick.
It's pretty good. Give him some points for that.
Okay, hold on.
He's digging himself out of the hole pretty well, pretty quickly.
Uh-oh, the system's down. Okay.
Reboot the pachinko machine if you have to. So this is where we kind of dig into what we're watching. The summary of the pilot, real quick. It's a retelling of the classic Grimm fairy tale done in live action and stop motion featuring Japanese actors and striking set designs. What do you think? Is that pretty accurate,
That's
fellas?
their words, not what I would say.
Okay. Give me a one sentence summary of what you how you describe this show.
If somebody said, "Hey, what's the show about?" One sentence.
A fever dream involving an Asian Dracula in a garbage bag tormenting little children.
A garbage bag.
A couple of commas there.
Do you have one? Do you have one, Blake? Do you have a way that you'd like to describe the show?
It's diabetes for your eyes.
Diabetes?
Diabetes.
Diabetes. You got the double chin on that one.
show and I got eyeballs. Sorry.
That would suck to have to inject insulin into your eyeball, right? I think
Yeah.
that'd really mess with your aqueous humor. That's the only thing I remember from science. To me, before we get into the next segment, I will say what I just said. That was interesting. This next segment is called Interesting Facts.
Yay! I like it.
Is this your favorite part? Is this your favorite part?
It's one of them.
Okay.
I like it
I
all.
think his favorite part is when it's over.
The show not this show, when the show that we watch is over, that's usually my favorite part.
Traditionally, they're very bad.
Yeah.
Interesting facts. Now, that's just the name of the segment. What we're about to do is lay some truth on you right now. Lay a pretty heavy dose of facts. These things are items that I looked up, interesting or not. That's for you to decide. But it's about the show, and these are true. So I'm going to tell you what some of these, and you guys can respond to them. But I don't want to hear your opinions about them.
Right? Yeah, we can respond, but we cannot tell him our because he hit me last time. So
Yeah.
Show him the bruise.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for a theme song, like a jingle.
For the interesting facts?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a crack at it?
Interesting facts. These facts, they're interesting because we're in the sky and we're high because Jason said something about smoke and pot because these facts are interesting and I'm going to drink my beer and we're going to talk now.
You know what? That's the only one we have.
Cool.
So
That's some more frequent flyer points.
There's nothing worse or better than that. This is Burton's first live-action production, Hansel and Gretel, a Japanese-themed adaptation of the Brothers Grimm fairy tale for the Disney Channel.
What?
This was made for the Disney Channel. And I think we talked briefly last week, Blake, about... Didn't we talk about this, about the Disney Channel a little bit? Like how originally it was...
it's a paid
Yeah,
channel.
it was a paid cable channel.
The thing I remember, and you guys may have your own memories about the early days of the Disney Channel, but I remember it being like a lot of live action costume characters like Winnie the Pooh had his own show.
Yeah, for sure. And it was great when we first got cable. Once or twice a year, there would be a free preview.
Absolutely, yep.
And you would get the Disney Channel for like a week or a weekend or so, and you could binge watch all these shows that, Welcome to Pooh Corner was one.
That's it, Welcome to Pooh Corner.
Welcome to Pooh Corner, and there was...
Kids Incorporated, I think, played on there, right?
I think so, yeah. Kids Incorporated with Jennifer Love Hewitt and Fergie Ferg. And
oh, my God.
All of them.
They were they were about 11 at the time.
The Mickey Mouse Club with
Ryan
Gosling and young Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and
Justin
Timberlake. All of them were on there.
That's back when they were fucking.
I don't think they were fucking yet.
They were all fucking.
But yeah, that was always a favorite of mine. And they would have these little infomercials like, "Hi, I'm Nancy. I work at the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Call this 800 number if you want to sign up." And then, like 10 years later, it's just part of basic cable. Oh, we're getting little Kids Incorporated.
Kenny Ford.
All around the nation. It's a new sensation. Have you heard? Have you heard?
Have you heard? We got a flight.
But we're Kids Incorporated.
Bullshit.
KIDS. Yeah, Kids Incorporated.
I was so young at the time. I felt like that was a song like right off the radio, but that was their specific theme song made for that show.
I loved
right?
that show.
Yeah,
It sounded like the Bengals a little bit.
it did. It absolutely sounded like the Bengals. That's why I think I thought
We're
it
the
was
kids of America.
That's Kim Wilde.
That's Kim Wilde. Yeah, Kids in
High
America.
five.
High five on that one. Blake, give me a high five for that one. Oh, Kim Wilde. I think she says there's a new wave coming on you or something like that. There's like
something like
coming
that.
up. She was calling out the fact that she was part of the new wave movement.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Yeah, where is she now? The part of the old wave movement.
Oh boy. That's what I remember about the Disney Channel. A lot of
it
live
was
action,
great.
a lot of like over the top, saccharine sweet kind of kid stuff, and I think they had some old school Disney cartoons sprinkled.
Oh
in
yeah,
there
for
too.
sure.
But that's what I remember. I remember the free weekends because I never had it growing up. Did you ever watch that, or were you too old for that, Blake? Or
I remember, but I blocked. I was molested at that time.
No,
Oh,
geez.
wow.
So I don't really. I kind of blocked it out.
Well, so was I, but I still enjoyed the Disney Channel.
Yeah, I remember watching him get molested. I still enjoyed it. The Disney Channel portion. Whatever was happening to him, I was on the fence on, but the Disney Channel, I did enjoy it. This aired once in 1983. It was made in 82, but it aired once in 1983 at 10 p.m. on Halloween.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
It was promptly shelved. The prints of the film are extremely difficult to locate, fueling rumors that the project didn't even exist for a long time. The only other times it was shown was as part of the Tim Burton retrospective at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City and the Tim Burton Exposition at the Cinématique François in Paris as part of a traveling exhibit.
They showed this in the MoMA?
They did.
At
the MoMA.
Geez.
That's right.
That's
Museum of Modern
crazy.
Art. Come on. He's a bizarre director or darling.
He also did this other project. It must have been after this, obviously, for Disney. I think it was the original Frankenweenie.
It was around
which
the
was
same
a
time,
short black and white thing that they, 20 years later turned into
maybe even
a bigger
longer than
project.
that. Yeah.
And that wasn't very good either.
The original one or the
the original.
I thought the later one was all right.
I never saw the later one. I saw the original though, and it was like, I'll stick with Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Edward Scissorhands.
And we're going to talk about that for sure coming up too. This was filmed for $116,000 on 16 millimeter. This live-action short film featured a cast of Asian amateur actors, kung fu fights, despite kung fu being Chinese, and Japanese toys, as Burton was obsessed with Japanese culture at the time of production.
I wondered where that came from.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact.
Jack.
It's a fact that you wondered it, right?
Right. No, I was going to say, it's a fact that you gave, and
It's
normally
interesting.
I would find that.
Well, hold on.
I would find that interesting. But
Well, come on, man. You know better than that.
all right. Well, it's just it's a fact that is.
We're almost done with this section.
Okay.
If you would just let me finish, then you can tell me whatever you want about the facts.
All right,
Okay?
All right. Sorry.
I have opinions about all these facts. You don't see me spouting off about them.
Our relationship has gotten so.
Something's going on here,
We have to talk.
and it is interesting to me. This film's design, style, and color schemes paid homage to the Godzilla movies and is said to be heavy on special effects, making use of front projection, forced perspective, and even some stop-motion animation. There's some guy out there I saw, and he's like, contrary to popular belief, there was no stop-motion animation used. And I was like, yeah, there definitely was.
The cookie, the cookie guy.
Oh, for sure. Well, hold on. The cookie, I think, was a puppet. You talking about the Gingerbread Man.
Right.
I've got some thoughts on the Gingerbread Man.
Talk about LSD, I tell you what. I think a lot of the stop-motion stuff was when they kind of pulled the camera back, and you got to see them going from the house into the woods. I think there's a lot of stop-motion animation in there for sure. But yeah, there were some terrifying things. It's Disney Channel. At the birth of the Disney Channel, I thought, you know what, this is a good idea. Let's put this out there.
It really wasn't.
At 10:30 at night on Halloween.
Let's get into it. Let's get into the show.
Yeah, let's do this.
Love it.
It opens with all these odd, colorful toys reminiscent of Burton's later works on films, such as, like you had mentioned, Dustin, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff from Beetlejuice, a lot of the artwork in Beetlejuice, and you even mentioned Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, and like Nightmare Before Christmas, you can kind of see where some of these things
were
originated. Yeah, like their birthing process.
To me, it was you could see.
You can tell it's him that did this.
Yeah, you could see traces. Like if I had a real amount of money, I would make this look good. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, it's like, hey, to me, like
it's still a bad student film though.
For the intro, with the creepy puppet, I put a creepy puppet in the toys. I put it looks like a 12-year-old filmed his bedroom. That was the intro to this.
That's about right. This and you guys are right too. It's like you can tell this is Tim Burton, even if you had no idea what you're watching. There are elements of it that you can pick out. Just like for me, if you listen to Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, you can always pick up when he's playing in a band somewhere. Like he has a very specific right.
Yeah,
and then like same thing.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Like Guillermo del Toro, the guy who did like Pan's Labyrinth and The Orphanage and Hellboy. He loves those creature effects. And
for sure.
Anytime you see those in a movie, I can tell it's one of his films. So people have these kind of these calling cards, and the big eyes on these creatures, big white eyes, and a lot of the stripes in the color.
Are you calling the Asian children creatures?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Japanese man playing a mother and a witch.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, Asian Dracula in a garbage bag is what I wrote down.
Well, yeah, are you saying that the Asian woman was the witch as well?
Yes, the person who played the evil stepmother also played the witch.
You had the fact.
That is a fact.
Because I watched the whole thing because I thought the same thing at first, but I was like, her face doesn't look as fat as the witch. I was like, I think that's Tim Burton playing.
You know what?
Witch.
Those glasses on him, I was trying to think, who does this look like? And I thought about Tim Burton. I was like, maybe not exactly, but I do see that in there for sure.
And I watched it assuming that it was him.
I wrote down, is that Marilyn Manson when we saw The Witch?
No.
Later.
But not tall enough.
Not tall enough.
But the first thing.
And the mother was... It's a male, isn't it? It's not a female.
Yeah, no, it's a guy. It's an amateur, Chinese
Actually, that guy
actor.
went on, I think he went on to do like a ton of stuff. Like he was
Mad
in...
TV.
He was on Mad TV.
It's not Bobby Lee.
Yep, that was Bobby Lee from Mad TV. No, he actually went on to do... I think he was in the Adam Sandler movie Click.
Okay.
He was in Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones.
He was short round?
He was short round, that's right. A lot of camera
No time
work.
for love, Dr. Jones.
And I can't remember. There's other couple ones, but he went on to do like a ton of stuff, and he still works to this day. That guy.
Well, the first thing
sounds like an interesting fact.
The first thing I noticed was, thank God Tim Burton met Danny Elfman, because the music that is through this entire thing, it sounds like fucking Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood music.
It really might have been someone that I didn't fact this one out, but someone had mentioned it sounded like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, for sure.
That piano playing.
Exactly. I know that was the first thing I was like.
It was that toy piano sound.
It's a land of make believe, but this is a horrible land of make believe.
It's a nightmare.
And
land.
instantly there was child abuse. Instantly on the show, the mother looks out the window, bites the finger of the kid, and she's smacking the kid, and so instantly child abuse right off the bat in this show. And I think he did that to kind of like
he's setting the tone,
get your attention. Like, this is one evil bitch guy
for the Disney Channel. That'll set. Well, I mean, look at all these classic Disney cartoons, Cinderella, and they have all these abusive parents.
Yeah.
So it kind of does fit in with Disney Channel.
Yep.
Man,
Disney After Dark.
I should
Disney After Dark.
I guess I should have beat my kids more. They'll grow up to be princes.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Hey,
Is that what's going on in the UK all these years? Okay, they open up, so he bites the finger and opens up where they go, let's go into the house, and they're having dinner. And I think they're feeding them crunchy slime. It sounds like there's a lot of crunching going on, but it looks like slime to me.
And the mom really enjoys it.
oh yeah,
Really
she was
digging
going
in.
to town. But and the pouring was just like so obscure. But it looked like baby's poop. Like a baby has like green poop.
And can we
Something,
get
yeah.
Hansel a booster seat? He was like
Both of them.
I love that.
His eyes were just barely above the table.
Well, it was they were eye level with the table, and they were as long as the table.
I
Yeah.
like that, though. That was obviously a choice they made to have just half of their heads peeking
Yeah.
over. And for some reason, I really thought that was funny.
to lick the goo.
What do you think they were eating? What was that?
Honestly,
it was like slime.
it looked like slime. And for being an actor to have to consume this, especially as hungrily as the mother
Yeah.
consumed it, that was the first thing. Like, I wonder
was-
what that really is.
It was green yogurt with.
It looked like cake, maybe, as the mountain. Like it could have been some sort of cake with all this crap smeared. Not literal crap, but
I heard crunching in there, too. Did you guys hear crunching?
Right, I was going to say it was like green yogurt with
Cornflakes?
Rice Krispie treat. Rice
okay.
Krispies.
okay.
You know what? Now that you say that,
That's
I would
possible.
try it.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. The kids did something. I don't know if they're laughing at her because they're eating, but she smacks them. I think she does this, she does a stand-up double smack.
Oh, it's great. And then
It's
the dad
awesome.
interrupts her, like,
Yeah.
no.
Don't hit
But he's
Mike.
like, bitch, I just smacked both of them.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, what are you going to do about it?
He's like, you're going to pick their side over mine?
Yeah.
And that's great.
It sounded just like her.
Thank you
That
for
was creepy as hell.
I love that they all spoke English. I was fully ready. I knew it was Japanese or Asian people playing these roles, but I was fully ready to read all the dialogue. I thought it was going to be subtitled.
Sure.
It was not. It was all,
No.
They were speaking in English the whole time. It was
Oh,
great.
they were speak very good English.
Yep. They did.
Sorry.
It's all right. No, puts a fine point on it.
So the mom beats him and then sends him off to bed.
They have to climb a giant ladder to get to
A
bed.
giant cardboard ladder.
That was awesome.
And they're up there, and they don't have pillows. They don't have a bed.
One of them has a sheet, it looked like, but not the other one.
There's a mat. There's like a little mat,
Little yoga mat.
and they're looking out at the cardboard window
Yep.
at the stars, and then all of a sudden the door, like the attic door up to their room, opens
Yeah.
up, and then all of a sudden here
a
we go.
weird little puppet comes
a
up.
Weird little puppet.
And the kids are pretty upset up there, but the puppet cheers them up.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is the puppet the dad, or was this a legitimate puppet?
No, it was the dad, right?
Okay,
It
I'm
was-
just making sure, because you never know with Tim Burton. Like, it could be some weird fucking puppet that just is appearing on its own.
And there will be some of that later, for
yeah,
sure.
right? But I was assuming it was the dad consoling the children, but
Yep.
you can never be too sure.
But the dad seems like a real big pussy in this.
yeah, he kind of does.
You know.
You are what you eat, though.
And there's a whole scene of that later that, again, it was just not appropriate for the
Right.
Disney Channel. The dad is a toy maker, so the toys we see in the intro, they're all toys that he made, assumingly. And then
Piss poor job.
pour that beer, boy.
I'm pouring.
And then so he brings the puppet up, he cheers up the kids, and I gotta say, when that ladder comes down from the kitchen table, it's very odd. It's a very long ladder. The set is very bright and bold and simplistic. There's no artwork on the wall. There's just clear,
Very
like
minimal-
a yellow background.
minimalistic, yes.
Very minimalistic. Yeah, there's nothing around. It's very simple. And again, I think that was a choice that he made.
Sure.
I think he could have put very cheaply on the wall pictures or a little table with a flower pot or something. He didn't do any of that.
He wanted your eyes to focus on the characters and
That's
what was
right.
going on.
Maybe this is Tim Burton fresh out of film school, and this is exactly what he wanted you to see. But they go up there. The kids are cheered up. They go to bed, and then next morning, the evil stepmother says, "You know what, kids? Let's go for a walk in the
Let's
woods."
take a walk in the woods. And, your mom beat you the night before. Next morning, she's had time to sober up.
Yep.
She's like, hey, let's take a walk.
And the kids are like, "Oh, okay, well, we can do that. That's fine." And then Hansel goes out, and of course, when I get up in the morning and I go outside maybe to go to work or something, I always walk past a big pile of pink crumbs on the ground.
Yes.
There's always pink crumbs in my yard. I don't know where
Every
they
day.
come from. I don't mind them. I'm
Well,
used to them now.
It's the insulation from your house.
Oh, my house is coming apart.
Yeah, there's raccoons, and they're eating it out of the walls and then in the attic in the walls, and then they're bringing it outside and throwing it out.
And they are what they eat. That's right. Well, Hansel, apparently that's the same thing that's happening in this story because he finds a big pile of insulation on the ground and he pockets it.
Yeah, and also it's really interesting that they kind of the camera goes way back, and so you get the full
when they start to make their trek into the woods,
right?
And this is the first time we see the stop motion animation,
right? And they're going to walk about 20 feet to the woods, which is 12 trees.
That's right.
Symbolism.
So they go into the woods, the stop motion animation, and the evil stepmother is leading the way. Mm-hmm. The kids are following, and in the back, Hansel is throwing down little pieces of that insulation on the ground because he's like, something's up with this.
He's like, my mom is a drug addict, alcoholic. Her mom beat her. She beats us.
It's a cycle.
She beats my fucking dad.
She wears a garbage bag.
Now the mother wore the garbage bag too, right?
Yeah.
And then
it really bothered Dustin that she wore it. He brought it up 7 times.
It was just weird.
I
thought it was Missy Elliott at first.
They only had $116,000.
That's true. That's
super
true.
Fly.
Yeah.
Super duper fly.
Yeah.
So they
and this is the first trip into the woods.
This is the first. There are two.
Yes.
They go in the woods, and then the mother throws a firework on the ground or something, and it completely captures the imagination of the children. They love it. Yep. And then when the fireworks done, they look around, and she's gone.
For a fat ass, she was fast.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, this had sparklers, it was a smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Smokes.
The Japanese people love that stuff.
Ninjas, I swear, they always have those. They just throw them on the ground, poof, and the smoke comes up, and the ninja's gone.
That's right, diversion. That's the same tactics Batman uses. Anyway, I wish Batman had a pilot that failed. Then we could talk about that.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
But
it wouldn't though, because that mean it failed, and all the Batman shows are good.
Yep, they're all. There's a Batman now on Netflix, the Batman cartoon. If you want to watch that, so check that out.
I own them all.
Oh, do you? I believe it. Your basement is a cartoon library.
That's true. It is.
So the stepmother's gone, and the kid's like, "Hey, no sweat. I just dropped all this insulation on the ground. We're going to pick it back up and go stuff it back into our house so our house can maintain a constant temperature." And they do, but they get back late.
Right, and the dad figures out that the mom must have done something wrong.
Yep.
And then, because she comes back, he's like, "Where are the kids?" And she's like,
you know how kids are.
Do you think he's getting beat too?
I know he's not getting laid. I'll tell you that much. It's hard to get through.
You can see in a man's eyes, especially a Chinaman's eyes, when they're not getting laid. And that guy, he's not getting anything. No garbage bag for him.
Look at all the toys he's making, for Christ's sake. He's got all kinds of time in his hands.
Dustin, I've never seen you make a toy, so I know what's going on with you.
A toy? No.
This is
I might buy them, but I'm not going to make them.
Wait,
what kind of toys are we talking? I've got a Deadpool action figure and some Batman ones.
Oh,
is that what you're talking about?
Jesus.
This is
painful if the arms get too far this way when you're pulling it out.
We should get a proctologist on this show.
I mean, it's no wood duck, but
Is that what you call it?
The old wood duck.
The old wood duck.
So the next day, the stepmother, the kid,
how do you know it's a stepmother?
I think
a stepmother, for somebody being that bitchy, she has to be a stepmother. Okay. Plus, it's on the Disney Channel.
Then why did they get divorced? Why did him and the original mom? Where's she at?
I'm sure she's dead. One parent's always dead in these scenarios.
That's true.
And then on the IMDb, the person's listed as stepmother. And it may even be listed in the credits of the film, too, as stepmother.
That would have been a nice fact.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Seems like I've left out a lot of facts this time. And that, to me, is interesting. The next day, the stepmother says, you know what? Hey, let's go back out in the woods again.
Yeah, guys.
And if I was one of those kids...
It didn't work the first time. Let's try again.
It was very clear what I was trying to do. Let's do it again. And if I were those kids, I would have said, fuck you. But the kids did not say that.
Right.
Because it's the Disney Channel. And because she used deplorable tactics to trick them to going back out in the woods. She said, hey, your father, toy maker, he made you this cool toy. He wanted you to be surprised. That's why I'm presenting it to you and not him. And then he wants you to, let's go out in the woods.
And they're like, no, we don't want to go. And he's like, oh, well, fine. If you want to hurt your father's feelings.
That's right.
Yeah, let's go take this duck for a walk. Because they're like, yeah, the four of us. And they're like, but Dad, and can we talk about the weird names that the mom, like, you stupid little slug?
Yes,
and like
I
your
remember
dopey
that one.
brother and all these kind of
Stupid
things.
slug,
yeah.
I remember that. I was ready. I heard stupid and I heard S. I swear to God she was going to say slut. But she, that little girl.
Stupid little slut.
You stupid slut.
But she did say slug.
Selling your underwear to Japanese businessmen.
They got to make ends meet. We all got to make ends meet.
Yeah, well, you know.
Dad wasn't. I mean, he wasn't selling any toys.
No. And those toys, you can tell Tim Burton made those.
Absolutely. Without it, again, that's all part of his design. Those big eyes, those bold stripes. Something else the stepmother was doing at this point, she was mocking everything the kids said. No matter what they said, like trying to, hey, why are we doing this? And the mother would come back, stepmother, hey, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like everything they were saying, she'd come back and say, "Is like, how old are you, bag woman?"
Well, I had a stepmother.
Okay,
That's exactly like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was. She didn't wear a bag.
That's
but
good.
She was, and still is to this day, just as bad of a person. And she would,
as this person here in the show.
yes, and she would do. I mean, she would never hit me because she knew I would have knocked her ass out. I would have knocked a perm right out of her hair.
Oh.
There you go.
But, she was very, very mean to me, and she did things on purpose, just like the wicked stepmother does.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Evil,
boy.
evil woman.
And how old were you when this happened?
To this day,
Oh, it still happened.
she still does stuff to this day.
That's weird.
Yep. You know who you are.
She's one of our 30 listeners.
Yeah.
So she gives them this present. They open it up, and like you said before, Dustin, it's a wood duck. They head back out into the woods, and the boy again grabs the insulation.
Yeah, but guess what?
Chicken butt, hilarious, real funny, Dustin.
Yep. Chicken butt. Guess why?
Chicken thigh.
Oh, you guys know
Hey,
this.
Diabetes eyes.
High five.
Nice, guys.
Hey, Jason, high five.
What's up?
High five.
Yeah. So they go out of the woods. The kid's like, you know what? Not going to get me twice.
Yep.
You know?
Fool me once.
Shame on you.
Fool me twice.
Can't fool me again. Go
We
out.
won't get fooled again. Roger Daltrey.
Don't fool me again. George W. Bush. They go out of the woods. He's dropping the insulation on the ground, and the duck loves insulation.
Oh, the duck. Yeah, that's like his primary food source.
So it's raccoons and ducks just digging out people's walls, getting at the insulation. So he's picking it up, and the stepmother knew that. She said, "That's what I know. I know you left that before, and I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm going to leave your dumbasses out in the woods." And she doesn't. She leaves them, and the kids and the duck left out in the woods. Did I miss something, Blake?
No, yeah, I can't remember how she
left them this time?
Yeah. The duck, they fell asleep.
I think they realized that the duck.
Smoke came out of the duck or something, like some kind of gas.
They realized that the duck was eating the shit because he picks it up and he shakes it and he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, the stepmother is already gone.
And
at
then
that point,
yeah.
how did
And the
she-
thing is, well, the reason they got lost is because all the trees look like the same painted stripes on like construction paper behind them. There's no differentiating any kind of scenery. It's like, oh,
it's all the same.
We're walking past that piece of paper.
It's
again.
like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, It's
right?
the same over
yeah,
and over.
the animation cell just keeps repeating.
Yep.
So they wake up because they fell asleep in the night. They wake up and the duck has become a robot GPS.
Well, first it tilts over and like the leg lifts up, and I thought it was going to start shooting out the insulation
That's
out
what
of
I
its
thought,
ass.
too.
It was like it was just going to start propelling it out. I don't know why I thought that, but that's just what it looked like was going to happen. Like it's lifting its leg up. But yeah, it turns into some weird kind of rope. They're like, oh, it's going to lead us back home.
And it leads them somewhere, and then after it leads them to the candy house that we're all familiar with from the fairy tale itself, and then it just disappears. I don't think we see it again.
No, it probably like flew off into the sky or something.
For me, the candy house was the closest to Tim Burton now.
I have a big problem with the candy house.
Well, I just had that look, that Tim Burton kind of look for sure. The candy house.
It was like a triangle house, but then kind of slumped off to the side a little bit. It almost had like a face on it. I think the kids even say, "Look, it looks like a face looking at us." What problems did you have with the house, Dustin?
That it fucking lactated.
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, like Asian children just really like creepy houses or something. I know I've seen a lot of Asian horror movies, but if I saw a house like that, my first instinct would not be like, hey, let's go check that out. Oh, and it's like weird liquid is oozing out of spots on
Well, yeah,
it.
they were eating like the trees on the way there, the little bushes, the little lollipop things. They're eating it. And I guess these kids have just been eating that green vomit slop for so long.
I guess,
that
when
they'll eat
you're
anything.
desperate.
And they just instantly start like, they eat all the goo, there's chocolate dripping from it, and they're eating like the doorknobs. They start.
I don't need to suckle the teat of a
And-
creepy house.
And then all of a sudden, you can just see in their eyes, they start getting
Diabetes, that's right. Well, if I learn anything from this show is that Asian kids will put anything in their mouth.
We'll get to that later.
High five.
They go up. They go up to the house. They start eating all this stuff, and they poke their fingers into the wall, and then it starts like spouting out.
Like the little Dutch boy with the finger in the dike.
That's right.
Not that kind of dike, Blake.
All right, well.
Philip, rest assured.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I had in my notes was when you said
dike.
I
said, just got a piece of paper and all it says is dike on it.
I said I had a story about me a dike, and I put my finger in it.
Let's hear it.
That was it.
Okay, that was it.
I can't give you guys all my good stories.
I wish you would.
I wish you would.
They eat this crap that is leaking out of the house.
Oh yeah, it's just like pure sugar goo.
It's the same. It looks like the same viscous material that they were being fed earlier in the show. But this is all
now
just
they
different
like
colors.
it.
Yeah, now they're totally into it.
It seemed to be less chunky. It was more.
There was more
synthetic,
more pure, pure cut
of fructose corn syrup.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're loving it. They're like, we're out all night. We got left in the woods. We don't know where we are. We're in front of a candy house.
We're at a rave.
Let's eat this goddamn house.
Eat the fucking thing to death.
So they start picking. There's a part where she like peels a chunk off too. That red chunk.
Yeah.
Very unsettling to me. I don't know.
But then she tries to grab something hanging out the door, and that's when shit goes sideways.
They see everything. They're like, let's just eat all this stuff. It all appears to be edible. Here's a candy cane out of the window. She goes and grabs the candy cane. Thank God it belonged to the witch's nose and not the nether regions of the witch, because that could have been a different story altogether.
Right.
But you hear a screech inside the house, and then the door opens, and this is what I have written for this. It looks like a 90s heroin nightmare. This witch that appears, which again is played by the same person that was the stepmother.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, just horrifying. All black cape, tall, skinny black witch hat. Hunchback, white makeup on the face, round black sunglasses, long candy cane nose, and there's that straight black hair.
Yep.
It was pretty terrifying. Like
sure.
if I was a kid and saw that,
Yeah.
no thanks.
Yeah. It wasn't something that it would lead me to go in that house.
I wonder how much you had to pay each month back then for Disney Channel. To me, I would have canceled my subscription that day.
What is this shit?
This is not what we signed up for.
What is this shit?
Nobody signed up for this.
What did you guys think about this witch?
Well, what I thought was funny is like after they come into the house, not too long after, the witch makes a comment about everything in my house is edible, and I'm thinking, including the dick-like candy cane nose. Like that's what I was like. Suck on my nose.
Jeez. Oh boy, can you imagine that being right between Kids Incorporated and the Mickey Mouse Club?
Yeah. I want to suck on your nose, witchy poo. From HR Puff and stuff. Did you guys watch?
Poo?
Yeah.
That show sucks, right? HR Puff and stuff.
All those Sid and Marty Krofft shows, but like some of those aspects kind of reminded me of from this. Kind of reminded me of that throwback.
Like some of the
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, HR Puff and stuff, the Bugaloos. All those shows were horrible.
Yeah.
Thank God this didn't have a laugh track. It would have been creepier if it did, because there wasn't anything really funny. It just would have been like this haunting, ominous laugh track.
That would be fantastic.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Oh, the Asian child's getting beat. Ha 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 ha.
The children are invited in, and they start eating everything, and then they're taken to some marshmallow beds.
There's nothing I like more after eating the shit out of candy house is to lay my head down on a marshmallow bed.
And the kids are totally willing to sleep at a stranger's house. They love it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you're not beating us like our mom did.
I was surprised cake farting wasn't involved before they got into the marshmallow beds.
That was way before cake farting got famous.
I guess, but I was expecting it.
This show could have been on the vanguard of cake farting.
So they settle down for a nice
long winter's nap.
Sugar coma.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, these creepy hands come up.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Let the nightmares begin.
Fucking A. The boy, all of a sudden, there's a bunch of red and white striped hands come up with real long, pointy fingers, snatch his ass up, and he disappears.
And it reminded me, it kind of harkened, I guess, forward to the scene from Pee-wee's Big Adventure with Pee-wee having the nightmare about his bike.
And the clowns?
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, and it reminded me of that. It's like, okay, he's getting there.
Yeah.
Like
he's warming up.
Kind of creepy.
Pumping the prime on terrifying children.
Yeah.
But yes, that scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure where the clowns are like blowing fire. Like Satan's there, and they're blowing fire on the bike.
Truckosaurus Rex is there to eat his bike.
And they always say, you know what? As a clown, if you're going to have makeup around the mouth, because all different kinds of clowns, you have to have the rounded corners on the mouth. Otherwise, pointy implies evil, and that's all they were on in the Pee Wee's Playhouse. That was terrifying.
Francis dressed up like a devil.
Yep, that's right. You know what's perhaps even more terrifying is when Francis eats that gum and starts leaking out of his mouth.
Yeah. No!
But we digress.
Buxtons.
The boy gets away for 1 second when the hands are trying to grab him. And this is my favorite part of the show. I think the witch takes stars off of her bag costume and throws them at him. Like
fucking
throwing
ninjas,
stars.
I'm telling you.
That'll come back again.
It does come back. She throws it and it sticks into the wall right by the kid. And the kid takes one out and starts eating.
Right.
That's my favorite part of it.
He's like, my life is in jeopardy right now.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry again.
That was my favorite part.
Because, when you start eating candy all the time, you are not getting nourishment.
That's right.
And so you're instantly hungry again for more sugar. You hair of a dog.
That's right. He's developing an addiction, something that he needs to constantly feed, pun intended. They eventually get him back into the bed, and you're right, it sucks him in. Yep. And now he's in this weird cage, holding area. And this is, I think, something that you wanted to focus on earlier.
We're talking about the Gingerbread Man.
Not just any gingerbread man. It's Bam Bam Gingerbread Man.
He was creepy as fuck, is what I have written down.
Angry.
He wants to be eaten.
And the look on his face is just like...
Okay.
Crazy, like I'm gonna fuck your sister, then kill your mom.
Did anybody else pick up on the Rod Stewart reference?
Yes. If you think I'm tasty,
and you want my body,
come on and take a bite.
Yes,
I got that written down too.
I started singing it in my head as soon as he. If you think I'm tasty and you want my body, yeah, that had to be intentional.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, 1982. I'm not sure when that song came out, but I'm thinking it's early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah.
So it had to be in the pop culture zeitgeist. So yeah, that was obvious.
And the puppet was terrifying, but it was clearly the Gingerbread Man was clearly a puppet, and they made like two different ones, I think. One with a face was kind of smiley, and then one later where he was angry about something.
Sure. And you can see during this scene, he picks him up at one time.
Yep.
And the back of him is just flat and gray.
Yeah.
And gray.
It's plain.
And then the next time he picks him up, it's got a hole back that goes along with this.
I don't think I noticed that.
Yeah.
Very, very nice pickup. And the Gingerbread Man's like, yeah, I want you to eat me. I want you to eat. Just take a nibble. And the boy's like, I guess it wouldn't hurt to have a taste. And so he starts chomping on this guy.
It's kind of Mr. Bill looking.
Yeah.
Up there on the paint job, you know.
Just interesting fact here. It was 1978 is when that album came out.
Okay, so like 4 years.
Hot off the heels.
Blondes have more fun.
That was the album? Mm-hmm. Nice. He's not wrong. Meanwhile, it cuts back to the witch talking to Gretel, and she says, pretty much what I'm doing here, I'm gonna eat you kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat you kids. I'm going ahead and start up the furnace, the oven. There's some cool fireworks in the oven. I'm gonna open the door, and basically, your brother's gonna get ate first. So eat up on that gingerbread man because I am hungry.
Gingerbread Man gets angry, says, finish me off. He picks up the face and throws it, and it shatters.
Yep.
And then more of those weird dangly hands come down. They pick up the boy. I think it cuts to more stop motion animation as it goes up.
It seemed to take a while.
It did take a bit. And then brings him into the room where the witch is ready for him. And he's hanging there, and she's like, hey, say goodbye to your brother, because I'm going to chomp his ass right now.
Put him in the oven right now.
That's right. And then while the boy is dangling, this is Gretel's opportunity. She says, hey, you know what?
Save my bro. Bros before hoes.
That's right. Bros before hoes. Boom, over the head with what looked like a fire poker. Is that what it looked like?
Yeah.
It was a fire poker.
Yeah, they appeared before this, weird looking
this big
stove.
Ornament,
yeah.
And it
that was built into the wall.
Yeah, it was just a flat piece of something against the wall.
It started from in the fire and it pulled out, and then like this furnace cover appears.
The minimalistic approach that he's taken all these sets is done throughout the show, not just at the house earlier.
Maybe it's a kabuki reference. I don't know. I don't know kabuki theater that well.
The white makeup definitely beckoned that.
From then on, it's on like Donkey Kong. The fight begins.
Yep.
The witch steps back.
I love the ending of the fight.
Hold on. The witch steps back, pulls off her candy cane nose.
Yeah.
Nunchucks, motherfucker.
Yep. Yeah, she pulls him apart. She's got nunchucks. The boy, he takes the hands that were holding him and he rips them out. And he starts using those hands as weapons. The girl's got the poker. They're going crazy. The witch starts throwing
the cookie cutter thing
right off of her bag, and they like explode into like paint or frosting or something.
Yeah, that's when this. I felt like he at this point he's like, okay, all these, it's been a white backgrounds, all the the very plain backgrounds, the fight scene. We got to make it theatrical.
Yep.
So there's a guy standing off camera. You can't see him. Just throwing paint balloons at the wall.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Just randomly.
I think most of the budget went to hiring Jackson Pollock, I believe, to do this part of the show.
And this is some of his lesser work. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was deep in his
he did this
alcoholism at this point.
Yep.
And
he did this one for the money.
Yeah, it was a paycheck job.
Right.
Originally, they had hired Nolan Ryan to throw these paint.
I did not see that.
But after the first day, he was throwing them through the plastic walls. And
There's too much power.
Too much power. So, they had to say, hey, Nolan,
The Iron Man of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought was great is she like rears back and she goes for this missile drop kick of death. To like decapitate one of the children.
Yep.
But guess what?
Chicken butt again?
No, not chicken butt. They move.
Classic move.
Yeah.
Classic step to the side.
She overplayed that one big time.
Well, yeah, it was so funny because they get in front of the door of the oven and they have that look like, hey, I got a great idea.
They're both sitting there smiling. I would have been terrified.
Oh yeah, they're smiling. They're like,
yeah.
I at one point I think one of them looked over to the side like, I could grab one more thing to eat. No, we got to focus. Like I said. Wow.
Yeah, she goes to do the Liu Kang Mortal Kombat bicycle kick and just goes flying into the furnace.
Goes straight into the furnace.
And the kids are like, we got to hightail it the hell out of here. And as they are leaving, the house becomes undone. And it just starts to melt and mutate. And
it takes a while for that, too.
It does. They even have like a cut shot where you can kind of see it from the side. And then they do like a cut to where it just kind of melts over.
They keep cutting back to it. It's like, yep, still melting.
Yep,
well,
still melting.
It's just like instantly melt.
Yeah.
And then out of the goop.
Yeah, what was this all about?
That was very odd. Out of the goop comes a big, like, yellow swan boat, almost, or some kind of automobile.
Yeah, and it comes up to him. And
automobile,
automobile, Hansel.
And it comes up to him, stops, and they both just like,
fuck it,
why not?
It came out of the goop that tried to kill us. Let's just get right in.
Let's just get in. Who cares?
The boat takes him home. The stepmother is gone.
Yeah, the dad's just hanging out there looking forlorn with his toys. Nobody but these.
Yeah. And
why aren't you out trying to find your fucking kids?
Right.
No kidding.
And when they come back, they're like, where's mom at? And he's like, I don't know.
She gone.
He killed her.
He makes the comment. He's like, listen, no screaming.
Yeah.
Like there's a pause.
That is.
And like I was waiting for an audible fart, but that's probably because I've been hanging around Szymanski too long.
And then they're like, "Oh,
listen,
yes, mom is gone. We're back together as a family, but we're still poor.
But wait,
the Swan.
Yeah, somebody hit the jackpot."
I figured that one out. Where did it come from? It looks like one of the toys he's made, but why would it come out of the house?
Yeah, they're like, you sent the Swan to find us, so he built the creepy lactating house?
And he smiled, too.
Sure I did. Okay.
Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Confucius say, Swan who come from house make lots of money.
Give us some golden coins, Swan.
So yeah, it just starts spitting all this, like Super Mario Brothers gold out of its mouth. I don't know what that, and then they start floating to heaven.
It looked like almost they were jumping for joy.
Yeah, they kept going up though.
But they just went up. Yeah, they had 3 shots of each one, the parent, the dad, and each one of the kids.
Where the hell are they going?
And then that was it. That was the end of that show.
And scene.
And scene it is.
And my question was, what was this a pilot for? Because it seemed like a contained
You're right, and I thought about that, and you know what? It's not necessarily confirmed that it was, but there were other things around
He was
going to
do other Grimm fairy tales?
That's what I thought.
Okay, because there was that fairy tale theater. That was another show
like
in the 80s.
Shelley Duvall
hosted
like Howie
it.
Mandel and
yeah,
stuff.
and like tons of people were involved in that.
Yeah.
And I think I have the DVD. of
I'm
that
sure
as well.
you do.
And so yeah, like maybe he was going to do like a Tim Burton's fairy tales.
Well,
something
he
like that.
worked. Tim Burton worked on a handful of things, including like the Fox and the Hound for Disney Channel or for Disney in general. So he was an employee of Disney. So in my mind, this is the first of a series of fairy tale recreations that he was going to make.
Yeah.
And for Disney was absolutely right in saying no more of this. This is not. You are good, but not for this. Not even close. So that's pretty much the story.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go to a quick commercial break here, and then we will come back with a lot more thoughts on Tim Burton's Hansel and Gretel. For over 8 years, Blake Clayton, the podcasting god, has brought you the best in roots music, adult comedy, and real talk with his ever-revolving cast of co-hosts in the form of It Burns When I Pee. Join one of the true podcast originators along with intern Heather and the Bottle Cap Kid as they play games, interview interesting characters, and just maybe uncover the meaning of life. New episodes of IBWIP can be found every Friday on the Fakakta Comedy Network. Check us out at fcfnetwork.com and join in on the fun.
Unfortunately, the listeners can't see, but every time that promo plays, you get down. I mean, you get behind the skins. You get behind the skins.
First of all, I just love to hear my voice.
My voice.
My voice. Second of all, I love IBWIP.
Aww.
I love it.
Aw, it loves you.
Well, thank you. I love IBWIP, and I love all of you. So definitely check out IBWIP, part of the family of shows for the Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Go to fcfnetwork.com. Check out all the shows we have to offer. I think there's 7 or 8 shows in our family right now. And by the time this comes out, we will have had a podcast marathon, which I'm pretty excited about. Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, the date of release of this show is March 28th, and so a couple weeks ago we got together and food, booze for some people, friends, and
fun,
and birthday,
and your birthday, the Ides of March.
Yeah, Ides of March, and it was just a way for us to all get together and see what kind of creativity would become of everybody together.
So many dedicated people and creative people all in one room. It's just going to be this boiling cesspool of energy and excitement that I am genuinely very happy about.
And I didn't want to put too many restrictions on everything. Anything. We have a schedule for the first 12 hours.
Is that it? The first 12 hours.
It's just very open to whatever. What I mean. And I have a feeling that as the night goes on, when we go into the wee hours of the morning, that there's going to be some awesome creativity that is unexpected. Or we'll all be asleep.
You know what I think? I think you have an ace up your sleeve, as you often do, and you know something that we don't. And I don't even want to know what it is. I'm excited because you're always the guy who pulls out some sort of special secret surprise at the last second. And
secret surprise.
That's right. So I'm excited to record that. It's going to be all of us recording 1 or 2 episodes of each of our shows. And it's going to be just a fun atmosphere, a big incestuous mix of FCF people.
Oh, yeah. We'll probably all be naked by the end of the night.
Oh, you know what? If 11 o'clock rolls around and I'm not naked, I'm out the door.
Hey, strip IBWIP. That's what I'm thinking.
Hashtag naked IBWIP.
Yep. Hashtag leave it on the tarmac.
A bunch of IBWI penises flopping around as far as I'm concerned. Let's talk about some turbulence that this show had.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Often when I think about what was wrong with the show, I like to think of it in the context that it was presented. In this one, it was on the freaking Disney Channel. I turn to you, Dustin. Why did this show not work?
Well, it's Disney Channel from the early 80s, not Disney Channel now. Now I think it could maybe get away with that.
I think a cartoon this weird could get away with. There's a lot of weird cartoons that both adults and children are enjoying, like Regular Show, like Adventure Time. These are weird shows with subtle hints of adult themes in them, but they're aimed towards kids. This, I think, could work more as a cartoon.
Right. It was too weird, and it was just really weird, and it's Tim Burton, so that's a given for us now, but this is the first thing he did, so nobody expected that. They're like, what am I watching?
I think there's a lot of there's stuff even before this that Tim Burton did, but again, Tim Burton, who the hell is that in 1982? He doesn't really even come to prominence, I think, until like the later 80s when he does like Batman and Beetlejuice. Like, who is this guy? Right. But in 82, Disney says, yeah, let's do this thing, and they didn't know what they were getting into.
Just a stoner that worked for Disney is all he was at the time, right?
Yeah, probably so. And some of this, like we talked about earlier, probably says, hey, you know what? I was using a lot of LSD too, because some of these things he created were just so bizarre and so like from probably his own nightmares.
Right. And I think for me, Turbulence-wise is, again, it was just ahead of his time. And there's been shows that we've watched that if they were in a different setting, in a different arena,
right?
They would work. For me, he had a $116,000 budget. To me,
I wish I had a $116,000 budget.
Oh, this show would be fucking awesome. But again, it's in the early 80s. They don't even have the technology that, like, his brain is working faster, and his ideas and his creativity is working faster than what is available to him to be financially, and also just to be able to turn those into actual things to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of tricks people used way back when. Like, it's funny, like you watch a movie like Alien or something, and they didn't have the computer technology to do what they can do now, but it still looked awesome because they used little set pieces, little models, and they're incredible.
But that's money.
Practical
that's
effects. Money. There's something to be said about those.
Absolutely.
That was very expensive to do that.
Guillermo del Toro, again, is someone who used a lot of practical effects. Oh.
What?
Guadalupe.
The Running of the Bulls.
Holy frijoles.
Guadalupe. Guadalupe is guy.
Guadalupe.
Guadalupe is the Running of the Bulls every year.
See, I didn't know that. You bring such an ethnic diversity to this show,
hey,
even for being white.
When you look at me, what do you see?
Iranian.
Oh, kind of.
What is the
ethnicity?
Rest assured, what nationality is that?
Honestly, I think they warped it at Ellis Island. Wasn't it?
Well, I was going to say. I mean, we're gonna release a special
Reshashurevich?
A special show where we like the origin stories.
Okay.
So I don't want to give too much away.
Gotcha. Okay, I just wondered. I was curious.
Yeah, like Mueller turned into Miller at Ellis Island. A lot of stuff. I think Rest Assure comes from. I mean, we'll get into it later, but it definitely has its origins.
I thought it was Breast Assure for a while.
I've been known to like a breast or two.
For sure.
I assure you, I like these breasts.
I assure you, I like a breast.
I like the boobs.
They are a wonderful thing, aren't they? Like that. Like,
let's get into boob
Let's
talk.
do it.
Let's take a moment. If you think about, there's starvation in third world countries.
Yep.
There's
absolutely
fighting wars amongst religions, people being beheaded, but.
Everybody loves boobs.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody would go back to what God really wanted, was like, hey, guys, look at these girls, look at those breasts.
Yep.
If we would just break everything back down to where it should be.
There's one constant in this life, and that's breasts.
Yeah, and you could look at a pair of breasts, and there's not very many you went, ugh. Never.
Yeah.
You can find something nice about every set of breasts you've ever seen.
Spend a moment, just like they say, stop and smell the roses. Stop and preview the boobs.
Right.
It'll make your day better.
If you're a female listener, go ahead and take a shot. Take a picture of your boobs. Send them to us.
Oh, jeez.
COUCHPilotspodcast@gmail.com, right?
Send it to us. You'll get some frequent flyer points for sure.
Definitely. We'll give you a double.
You'll get an autograph picture for Tarmac John.
Yep.
With nacho cheese smeared on it.
He signs it in nacho cheese. But yeah, absolutely. Breasts are the giver of life. They give me not only life, but they give me a straight up milk boner on many occasions.
Milk boner.
Anyway, I think that concludes this episode of Boob Talk. We'll get back to the show. Now, if it were improved and where I'd like to see it go, I wouldn't mind seeing Tim Burton. And again, maybe not for the Disney Channel, but maybe something more modern like an Adult Swim or, I don't know, just a straight-to-DVD collection or something where it would be just cartoon versions of fairy tales that he's done. Because a lot of the fairy tales that I know my generation heard were, like kind of churched up versions of the old ones. Because a lot of the original ones were very terrifying.
They're super dark.
They were caution tales where children would get
Those
diced
German people don't mess around.
They do not.
If you think about this, if there was a Netflix
Right.
at this time, this is a perfect situation. And that's something we haven't really touched on too much on this show is when we talk about the summaries and how in Turbulence is how would some of these fit on something like a Netflix? You know, you don't get a lot of pilots on Netflix. You get a whole series. Netflix is buying a whole series from you. You know what I mean?
I don't think you're going to get one-off things unless that was their intent to do something like that.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, this is something that would have flourished
as a series. You think as a series of
of children's stories on Netflix.
I would like to see a cartoon version. I know there's a cartoon version of Beetlejuice after that came out. I don't think it was very good. I don't know how much Tim Burton had to do with it, but I would like to see him have his fingerprints on a cartoon, a bizarre cartoon. That's what I think. Yeah. That's just this humble podcaster's opinion.
You know what? In your opinion matters.
Thank you. Let's start to take this thing in for a final descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
Now, we've discussed facts. We haven't discussed whether they're interesting or not. We have our opinions about that. We have our opinions about this show as a whole. But not only do we have opinions, this existed before we looked into it, and other people have opinions about it too.
Sure.
So we're going to dig in right now into some reviews and some ratings that other people put out there.
Ratings!
Ratings! IMDb. Any guesses on IMDb what this received?
4.2.
It's out of 10.
4.2 out of 10? Okay.
You know what? I may have undersold that because some of those people are Tim Burton fans. They'll be like, "This is genius." So it's probably more closer to a 7.
6.5.
You're exactly right. It's a 7.
Wow, good.
7.0. You nailed it. And that's something that I take into consideration too because I can't remember what it was. I think it was when we were doing Action Family. I was like, this has a pretty.
That
high
was
score.
a lot better than this.
That was awesome. I think it was the same kind of thing. It's like, oh, I like Chris Elliott's type of humor. I am searching that out. Right. In this case, people are searching it. They're going out of their way to find things.
You didn't mention his show Get a Life at all, which I was surprised about.
I have that on DVD. Do you have that?
That doesn't surprise me, but oddly enough, no, I don't.
Well, we're going to have to schedule a date where we can watch that together.
All right.
That might be its own separate podcast, watching Get a Life. There's a jacked up show. Great theme song, by the way. You know the theme song?
Yeah, it was REM.
Damn right it was. Stand.
In the place where you live. Yep.
Oh, there he goes.
Philip, you can sit down. We're descending.
That was just lyrics to a song.
Oh, I thought you guys were. I thought you guys were.
We do often command you to do something physical, but this was just lyrics to a song. Rotten Tomatoes score. I was very surprised. A lot of times these pilots don't have Rotten Tomatoes scores. This one did.
Okay.
Anyone want to guess on this?
Because it was in the MoMA, probably. That's the only reason.
That's why. If you get to the MoMA, you're getting on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes 5.3.
Now this is out of 100%. I will say.
Oh, okay. That'd be a 53.0 then.
Okay.
I'm going to say a 45.
You guys are just about there at 51%.
Okay.
That's the audience score.
You win the Showcase Showdown. Hey! I oversold.
Yeah.
You win
$1.
Those pricks who do that.
I fucking
up your butts.
Like,
with a rubber hose.
Quit being a pussy. You know what I mean?
Mr. Cat Hair.
Oh,
Mr. Cat Hair. Yeah. Oh, sweat hogs. Critic score, nothing on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see, viewer reviews, a Disney Channel special. Although some people believe this is a fairy tale theater episode, it is not. I don't know how they know that. I like to think it is. Otherwise, that shoots the whole premise of the show. And
Shelley Duvall didn't introduce it. Yeah.
This wonderfully animated live-action short was only aired on the Disney Channel along with another Tim Burton short entitled Vincent, which I don't know about that one.
Is it about Vincent Van Gogh?
Well, you know what? It's funny because they said, when I was looking at the IMDb, it said Vincent Price was the host or something of this. And I didn't see that.
That'd be cool.
Well, I didn't see that. I don't know where he was.
The funk of 40,000 years.
Did he die right after he did that?
No, he did Edward Scissorhands and stuff.
Oh, that's
remember?
Right. Yes, he was the creator. I think was his
name.
You're
always trying to kill people off before their time.
You're next, pal. Hey, it's past 6, isn't it? Put that do down.
Well, here's my thing.
Put the do down.
Here's the rule about it. If I open it, if I open it before 6, I got to finish it.
Can you milk? How long can you milk that? As long as you wanted.
It's about done.
Champ it out.
The stewardess, we didn't even talk to her. Stewardess has arrived in the cockpit as we're getting ready to descend. But if the stewardess would mind getting me a hot chocolate, I would appreciate that. All right. And children need to sit down because we are landing the plane as of right now.
The short story is only about 20 minutes long. What animation there is similar to A Nightmare Before Christmas. It is mainly live action. I do recommend seeing this special if you can obtain it.
Or just watch it on YouTube.
I don't. Yeah.
There's no need to obtain this. You don't need to see it more than once.
You don't need a
You see it
physical
once,
copy of this.
that's enough.
Almost
I think.
everything.
I would like
in
to see it on DMT. If I was on DMT, I would like to see it.
It would be a pretty different experience.
Yeah.
Grand Bach from IMDb says 5 out of 10 scars. That's about right.
It sounds like your rating system.
It does. I recommend this to anyone curious, though this shouldn't be the director's first work you see. It is memorable for reasons both positive and negative, and it is currently and legally free to watch online.
I don't know about legal, but...
Ken Check says 2 scars out of 5. Brad D says 2 scars. Sometimes the idea behind something is better than the thing itself. It's probably better not to spoil the mysterious vision you've created in your head. Rash H says 3.5 scars. This explains everything that Tim Burton has ever done since. Talk about origin stories. That's it. I didn't find any critic reviews. I find it tough to find critic reviews for these one-off things. I'm almost considering not doing critic reviews anymore.
I think we should start getting a hold of some of these critics.
Yeah?
Who are they? Do they have a plane?
Hell no, they don't have a plane.
No.
You guys have a plane.
It would be an honor for them to be contacted by us, for sure.
I think so.
Okay, so you kind of get the feeling. Right now, it seems like people on IMDb, 7, a lot of people are kind of cutting it right down the middle, though.
Right.
Right about 50%,
Right.
half and half. Let's take this thing in for a landing.
Let's land this puppy. Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
We just went through a time warp because you said it was like 6 o'clock, and now it's 11:11, which is cool because 11's my lucky number.
Well, let's go through the time warp again. You want to?
You, what do you, jump forward? You
I hate
take a
that
step
show.
to the left?
I hate that. I hate Rocky Horror.
And then a step to the right.
Meatloaf.
Yeah.
What a load. Yes, there are some contradictory things that we've said. I think we were set to Eastern Standard Time, and we were in the Pacific. Northwest.
We crossed the when you
The
cross the
Mason-Dixon
time
line.
zones, it changes. Okay.
That's right. So that is all accurate. This is the rating system, and Dustin, you have openly criticized our rating system.
Not on this show,
before.
I haven't.
Not that's true. Not here, you haven't. So here's your opportunity to bash our Wings rating system.
Yeah.
It's a 1 to 7. 1 being the worst, known as a
Yeah.
Roy Biggins, and 7 being the best, known as a Brian Hackett, and then all the numbers in between are different Wings characters as well.
What's the Tony Shalhoub again?
That's the Antonio Scarpacci special, number 3.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm giving this a Shalhoub.
Big Schloob.
Yeah. A big old Shalhoub right across the face.
I'm a Shalhoub too because originally I said a 2, but then again Asian, and I'm sure that girl grew up to be good looking. And I was listening back to the Adventures in Babysitting, and you dissed me because I was giving it a higher rating because of this little girl and how that was kind of creepy because she grew up to have, But if you think about it, I was 7 when this came out. That Asian girl had to be about 7 or 8 years old too. So she's probably the same age as me now.
But I did diss you, but then please keep in mind I also dismissed you after that.
Oh. Now she's Jock and Jay.
I give
It's tricky.
I give it a Scarpacci.
Give it a Scarpacci. I'm sorry. You know what? If you want to be at your age now, at 40 years old, and you want to look back and tell me that 7-year-olds are attractive, that's your business.
No.
And I shouldn't. I'm not going to step in the way of that.
You make me sound creepy.
That's a fact in
You
your
make
mind.
yourself sound creepy.
No, I IMDb these people, and then look what they look like now.
I know.
The stewardess is looking at me like I'm some kind of weirdo.
It's I will absolutely give it to you that girl that you showed me on that episode, she was very attractive today.
Thank you.
I'd still take Elizabeth Shue off the original movie.
Yeah, she's a good looking
I
woman.
recently rewatched Adventures in Babysitting.
It sucks, right? Now?
No, I love that movie. Brianna had never seen it, and on my first day of unemployment.
Oh, I thought you said your first date with
No,
her.
no. My first off day, I was like, I'm just going to chill out. And we watched that and drank some beers. She had never seen it before. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of where my childhood crush on Elizabeth Shue came from. And still holds up. She's amazing looking.
Yeah,
she's great.
I love the part in the original movie, too, where I think it's Daryl is the character. He puts his mouth on the window and blows his...
Yeah, Anthony Rapp. Future star of Rent on Broadway.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, that's him. And from Dazed and Confused.
Oh, was he the nerdy dude?
Yeah.
One of the nerdy guys that hung out with like Adam Goldberg?
That's him.
Okay, I didn't
He
realize
is
that.
the best friend in that movie. So yeah, and I watched the Adventures in Babysitting pilot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does. No,
It is bad.
No,
It's
no.
very bad. Whoa. You gotta love Joey. I think I feel about the same as you guys do. I am going to give it a 4. Just because, and again, 4's not great. It's just kind of right down the middle.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot worse stuff than this doing this podcast. I've seen a lot better stuff than this. To me, it's an interesting take on an old story. With just he had weird sensibilities, and I can appreciate that.
I appreciate for the fact that we saw
It was better than Mason.
we saw the beginnings of a creative genius.
Exactly. You could see the origins of some of his. When somebody says that's Burton-esque, you're like, okay, I can kind of see it. You know.
Example: I had a Mark McGuire Topps card from when he was on the USA Olympic team.
Right.
And
Was that like 86? Oh, okay.
And so I cherish that.
Yeah.
We did not know that Mark McGuire was going to be such an amazing baseball player.
I have an 88 Donruss card from him autographed. Oakland A's.
At that time, did you know he was going to be such a terrific player?
No, I didn't even know he was going to end up playing for my team. So that's even better.
Dustin owns a baseball team.
I do. It's
You
the
own a
St. Louis
baseball
Cardinals. That's why I'm unemployed right now. Because I'm focusing on just running the Cardinals, and the record store was getting in the way of that.
Podcasting in the record store, out the door. I got Cardinals organization.
We had to get rid of Jason Hayward. The Cubs picked him up, and then it's John Lackey followed him. It'll be interesting. Central Division will be a close contest this year.
Shut this drunk guy up. Let's go.
The ratings are done. We're done. We have closed the book.
Yeah.
On this podcast, on this episode of Couch Pilots, and this awfulness, semi-awfulness that was Tim Burton's.
It averages out to a 3.33.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Math.
Yep.
I didn't even use the pachinko machine.
Put it away. Let it rest. Power it down. Let it reboot.
I'll have the stewardess take it back in the back room.
I'm next. Get in line for that. We might be done talking about Hansel and Gretel, but we're not done with this episode quite yet. Join us next time when we watch the pilot episode of Modesty Blaise. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Modesty Blaise was a 1982 American-produced one-hour television pilot produced for the ABC network and based on the 1963 to 2001 comic strip Modesty Blaise, created by Peter O'Donnell. You can find the entire episode of Modesty Blaise by subscribing to Couch Pilots in your favorite podcast app, or go to our show notes for our blue links. So many links out there. The internet's been around ostensibly, 20 years plus at this point, and there's always been something that you can click on, some link, something that's been not just the standard black colored font with an underline on it. You want to click the blue ones.
Blue ones. Blue is the color of love.
Blue is best.
Blue is right. Blue is correct. Blue is love.
Mm-hmm.
And blue is what you get when you don't have sex for a while.
That's right. You get blue right in your ball area. Click on the blue links.
Boy, do I know that.
Oh, Jesus. Why do you drag us into your marital dismay?
Podcasting is my passive-aggressive way.
Is that all this is? Is
communicating
this just
to
a
my wife.
game for you and your marriage that we have to suffer through? Is that why
Podcasting is why your balls are blue.
that was my best Molly impression.
You even had the eyes. Like the eyes that you get. You did a good job.
Thank you. Click on our links in our show notes. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Or you can go right to the website Daily Motion and search Modesty Blaise. That's right. A lot of the stuff we find on YouTube. This one is not on YouTube.
This is the first for us.
This is one of our first ones. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it meets the criteria.
It met the criteria. It's still available. It's still free. If you have ideas and anything that you like to see on the show, any suggestions, any pilots that you're aware of that we are maybe not aware of yet, we've got a whole bank of stuff that we know we're going to hit eventually. But if you want to add to that bank, let us know.
We'll actually put yours in front of some.
Yeah, it's how
Sure.
you get frequent flyer.
Freaky
flyer miles.
miles.
Freaky
Because
Friday
I
flyers.
sent them one, and we'll see if it comes up in a couple decades.
CouchPilotspodcast@gmail.com. Send us something there. Check out the Facebook page. Like us on there. Leave us a message. We want to engage with you. We want your feedback.
Yeah, and if you are a Twitter person, which some people are, it's Couch Pilots Pod.
Yep.
Yep.
Couch Pilot at Couch Pilots Pod. send us a message on there. We're all about trying to learn how to tweet the Twitter.
That's right.
Joey Lawrence never got back to us.
He will.
Mason did.
Yeah, we did have a conversation.
Well, let's keep that chapter closed.
Yeah, I don't want to. Let's close the book forever. Let's lock it up and throw away the key.
All right. So, Dustin,
Yeah.
you turned in quite a few miles to be able to take this flight with
I
us.
did, and I think it was worth it.
Did you enjoy it? Is it all you thought it would be?
Yeah, it actually was.
Really?
Yeah. Are you upset that it was?
No.
Oh, okay. No, it was fun. I'll keep saving them up now for my second journey.
All right.
I usually at this part of the show I mention, again, go to fcfnetwork.com, check out all of our family of shows. And one of those shows is Dustin's very own Drunken Lullabies.
That's it.
Dustin, you got sponsors now. You got interviews with bands. You got interviews with breweries.
Yeah.
What's on the horizon for Drunken Lullabies?
This is the end of March, by the way.
We're getting things cracking.
Don't bring that shit here.
It's
we don't go for cheap laughs here.
No, it's been pretty crazy. Distill, has sponsored us for like 4 months out of our existence. Like we were only 2 months in, and they sponsored us.
Well, you were new and noteworthy.
We were new
nothing.
and noteworthy, and things have gone a lot better than I thought they would. Like, this is where I wanted the show to get to, but it got there a lot sooner than I expected. So
that's what Molly says about me. This is where I wanted you to get, but you get there a lot too soon.
So yeah, we're just we're riding it out and enjoying the ride. And if you like craft beer and indie music, check out Drunken Lullabies. It's a fun time.
It's really cool that you've been doing these interviews and splicing them in before you have the song by them. It's cool, all the different dynamics that you guys are doing on the show. It's definitely worth a listen. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out Drunken Lullabies. Subscribe to them in iTunes. Again, go to their Twitter page. Or you don't have a Twitter, do you? Or is it
We do have a Twitter.
Twitter and Instagram.
It gets used the least out of all the social media, but it's DL_pod on Twitter. But otherwise, it's Drunken Lullabies Podcast on Instagram, Facebook. That's where you find us. So
check them out.
We're a lot more accessible on those.
It's Dustin and it's Blake on most of the episodes.
Yeah,
and then they have Blake Biermansky, and they've got such a revolving. I've been on a handful of times. I've been thankful to be on the show.
You've been sloppy as shit.
Finally, the truth comes out.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So check out Drunken Lullabies on the FCF Network. Anything else, fellas? Blake, do you have anything else you want to add before we close?
No, I think we've touched on everything. Fan feedback would be greatly appreciated. Check out past episodes. That's one thing that we haven't really talked about. We never really talked about
That's true.
Check out some of the past episodes.
Yeah, go to the archives.
Yeah, for both Drunken Lullabies, but also for Couch Pilots. A lot of this stuff will be funnier if you go back. I suggest going back and listening to the pilot episode. The
pilot.
The pilot.
That's right.
But scroll through. There's some names of shows that you might remember and stuff to check out. It's always a good time.
A lot of great stuff. As always, everything on the FCF Network is free, so there's nothing to lose.
Yeah, quit complaining.
Yeah, stop complaining, everybody. Shut up. Well, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Hey, Dustin.
Adios, muchacho.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.